I apologize, I will do this video as fast as I can, but whenever I do walkarounds of these Teslas, they're just so different than any other car. There's so much to talk about, they have a tendency to go on for 15, 20 minutes. Hi, this is Joe from Way Scarff Ford, and today we're talking about this 2024 Tesla Model 3, standard range rear-wheel drive. Let's dive in. Okay, so the Tesla Model 3 was heavily revised. You could almost call it a complete redesign for the 2024 model year. But this is actually a version of the Model 3 that's no longer available. The reason is because of the new EV federal tax credit. This uses what they call LFP batteries, which stands for lithium iron phosphate. Like, hey, I'm pumping iron. Lithium iron phosphate. We just call them LFP for simplicity. Another popular battery technology is lithium-ion batteries. They sound very similar, but lithium-ion batteries are generally more energy dense. They cost more money. They generally deliver better performance, but there are pros and cons for both. Most of the LFP batteries come from China. So for Tesla to continue having the Model 3 qualify for that $7,500 new car tax credit, they started just using locally sourced batteries. So they dropped the LFP equipped 2024 Model 3 and replaced it with a lithium-ion equipped long-range rear-wheel drive, or you could call this a standard range rear-wheel drive. Tesla just calls it a Model 3 rear-wheel drive. Tesla just calls it a rear-wheel drive Model 3. As I mentioned, there are pros and cons with the battery technology, so let's talk about that because that's an important thing. The battery is like the engine in your car. That's the core of the vehicle. So LFP batteries don't mind being charged to 100% all the time. We have this little slider. You can also use the Tesla app. This controls the state of charge to the battery. It will limit how much it will charge. You can only have it charged to 50%, 60%, or 80%. Lithium-ion batteries only like to be charged to 80% for daily use because when you charge to 100% every day, that can degrade the batteries faster. They won't last long. The batteries can fail earlier or you could lose capacity. LFP batteries are just the opposite. Normally when you charge to 100% with lithium-ion equipped Teslas, it will give you a warning label. Warning, Tesla only recommends you charge to 80% for daily use. This is just the opposite. So I have it to 100%, there's no warning message. But when I put it to 80%, this comes up. We recommend keeping your charge limit at 100% and charging fully once per week. So LFPs like to be charged to 100%. So the thing is, if you have a long range Model 3, and it might have a longer range than this LFP equipped it might have longer range than this LFP equipped battery, but you're not getting 100% of that EPA range because you're only charging 80%. You're only getting 80% of that range. This has a fully charged range of about 270 miles, but you can get 100% of that range every day because you can charge it to 100%. LFP batteries are also considered to be more durable than lithium-ion batteries. They have the potential to last a lot longer than lithium-ion batteries. Both actually are tending to last a long time. Before, there's a lot of disinformation about batteries failing, but it actually is turning out now that there are millions of Teslas on the road, and they've been making Teslas since 2008. There's data, there's millions of Teslas on the road, and guess what? The battery failure is very rare. The battery failure on Teslas 2016 and later are less than 1%. It's like 0.6% or some small amount like that. So there are lots of Teslas with 200,000 miles on them plus that are still charging. They got 90% capacity of their batteries. What if you have a car with a gas engine and it has 200,000 miles? You think you're getting 100% of the power that engine makes when it was brand new? No. Things have a tendency to degrade over time. But these batteries are tending to be so robust, they're actually lasting longer than the actual vehicles. So they're finding ways to recycle the batteries, maybe put them in large battery mega packs or something like that when they need to be recycled out of the vehicle. So there's potential for this vehicle, just as long as the rest of the vehicle lasts, that these batteries could go 300, even 500,000 miles. So those are the differences. So this is a version of the Tesla that's not available anymore in the US market. They have these, they sell versions of these in other markets. So yeah, LFP batteries might be desirable to some people. And the thing is that, you know, people worry about range, but the thing is, you know, how many miles you drive on a daily basis. You don't need to go to the charging station every day if you charge at home. Your home's a charging station. You go home, you plug it in, you go to sleep, you wake up, and it's fully charged. You probably don't drive more than 100 miles a day. So obviously, in cases where you're going to exceed the daily range of this vehicle, Tesla has an amazing supercharging network. They have the biggest, most sophisticated charging network by a huge margin versus everyone else. Just like looking around here, look at within 10 miles, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fast chargers, superchargers within 10 miles. There's a lot of information there. It tells you how fast these chargers are. This is a new one that's 325 kilowatts. That's the latest technology. It's 150 kilowatts. You can pretty much drive just about anywhere in the United States and you'll be able to find a fast charger. And Tesla has this amazing trip planner. So let's say we want to go to Spokane, Washington, which is out of the range of this Tesla, across the great state of Washington. The trip planner will figure out the whole trip for you. They'll figure out where to charge for, how long you'll need to charge for, how much range when you get to the destination. So this takes all the range anxiety out of owning an EV. You don't have to worry about finding a charger. And Tesla is one of the only car companies that has a trip planner like this. And this trip planner is very, very complex. It takes into consideration outside ambient temperature. It takes into consideration tire pressure, elevation, wind speed, all factors that could affect the ultimate range of your vehicle. So the trip planner is very accurate. Just as long as you put your destination in there, it won't leave you hanging. If there aren't, you know, for whatever reason, if you can't make the trip, it will tell you if there isn't charging available, if there isn't enough range to make it to your trip. But like I said, with all these superchargers, that'll be very few and far between. And these charge fairly fast. You don't have to charge for an hour. Sometimes you can just go in there for 10 minutes and you'll add 100 miles of range. You don't need to charge it to 100% to make it to your destination where you can plug it in and charge overnight. A lot of hotels and stuff like that have destination charging. I have a Tesla. I have a 2019 Model 3 standard range. It's basically the older version of this car. This is what my car evolved into. And I just charge at home. And I've had my car for almost 3 years. I've probably fast charged it like 5 times because I charge at my house. You know, I don't drive more than 100 miles a day. You know, on those few road trips, yeah, you'll have to fast charge. But the nice thing too about those superchargers is that they are strategically placed by points of interest, like shopping malls, shopping centers, stores, restaurants. And, you know, most people aren't going to want to drive 500 miles nonstop without getting out to stretch. Maybe you're letting your dog take a pee. You relieve your bladder, get a bite to eat. You know, 10, 20 minutes can go by so fast. But guess what? While you're charging, Tesla's got your back too. We have a whole infotainment system right here. This is like a supercomputer on wheels. This car is amazing. This is what makes this car so different. There's no other car besides a Tesla that is anything like this. And hey, it's not for everybody. I like all sorts of cars. I've been in the car business 30 years. I like the simplicity of a manual transmission, rear-wheel drive V8 sports car. I like diesel trucks, but I also like EVs. You know, there are so many great choices out there. You don't have to say this is the ultimate vehicle. Nothing else is better than this. It depends on your lifestyle, what you're looking for in a vehicle. There's no right or wrong choices. This might be the right choice for you or it might be the wrong choice. It's the right choice for me as a commuter vehicle. I have a Ford van that I can use for big family road trips of lots of space and stuff like that. So I don't have to road trip in my Tesla. I can commute on that and save the wear and tear in my big giant van, which doesn't make sense for a daily driver. That might be the situation for you. But yeah, so if you're at the supercharger, you can watch Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. Premium connectivity is $10 a month. This basically has a cell phone transponder. So for $10 a month, you get data beamed right to your vehicle. You don't have to use your cell phone. You can watch Netflix. You can listen to music. You can play video games. Some of the video games you can actually, like the driving games, you can actually use the car's steering wheel and brake pedal to drive the car in the video game. It's pretty funny. You can get Xbox style controllers and play some of the games. Some of the games, like you can just use the screen. You can also play games in the back. Then we have the toy box. We have the silly things like the whoopee cushion. We have Rainbow Road, where basically you turns the road into a rainbow. The whoopee cushion, the boom box. You can play ambient music through your horn. Maybe if you're having a picnic, you can play music from this entertainment system through the horn speaker. Or you can make the horn sound like a fart or a goat or an old car. There's a colorizer, so if you decide to wrap your car, you can have your car's avatar match the color of the wrap. There's romance mode, sketch pad. Some of the stuff is silly, some of the stuff is actually helpful. So much to talk about. So here's some more of the data on the vehicle. This has the hardware for, this is the latest in the full self-driving computer. This car does not have full self-driving, it has Autopilot, which is, I consider Autopilot kind of like full self-driving light. Autopilot will brake and accelerate and steer, come down to a complete stop in its lane. Great for stop and go traffic. It's not gonna stop for red lights, it's not gonna stop for stop signs. You're gonna have to override it. It's not gonna change lanes, but for driving on the highway or driving down country roads and stuff, it can follow the curves on roads that can't take tight hairpin corners, but the Autopilot's amazing. It's like a whole weight lifted off your shoulders when the vehicle takes the workload off driving. Think about spending hours on the highway, at nighttime in the pouring rain. You're just struggling to see the lines in the road. You're white knuckling it. Well, the Autopilot will take over that workload. You're in supervisor mode. You're like the foreman, just paying attention, making sure things are going right. Most of the time they do. And I can't tell you how much of a weight it lifts off your shoulders. It takes a lot of mental energy just to keep a car centered in this lane in the highway. And you don't understand it till you experience it. And once you experience it, it's hard to go back. I find myself taking my own car for company errands. I could drive any car at the lot. We have nice cars, but I'm so spoiled by my Tesla. It's easy. I can just get in it and go. But yes, if you want to do the full self-driving, it's pretty amazing. I have full self-driving my Tesla. You can subscribe to it for 99 bucks a month or buy it for $8,000. A lot of times when you're a new Tesla owner and you transfer the vehicle into your Tesla account, Tesla will give you a trial, like a month trial of full self-driving. I encourage you to look at it. 3 years ago, it was really wonky. It needed a lot of supervision. It was sometimes scary, but Tesla is constantly updating. All the people using the full self-driving, Tesla collects that data and uses it to make it better. So it's like a perpetual flywheel. They get the driver data, goes to Tesla, they improve it. So now, my car, I have the older self-driving computer. This will actually drive better than my car, but I have a 12-mile commute. I can tell you, pretty much every day, this car drives me to work and drives me home, and I very rarely need to touch the steering wheel. I just have my hands on my lap, and the car's doing the work for me. It is amazing, and it will continue to get better, maybe to the point where it can truly be unsupervised full self-driving. Right now, they supervise. It has a camera here, so if you start going on your phone, you start looking and daydreaming, it'll start warning you, hey, pay attention, we're gonna disengage the system. So there's a lot of safety aids to make sure people don't abuse these systems and are paying attention, ready to intervene. Very rarely these days, the car might get confused. There might be a weird situation where you have to intervene, but it's still recommended. But maybe you can get that part of your life back that you lose from commuting. You know, imagine spending 2 hours in stop and go traffic going into Seattle. What if you can get that time back? You can take a nap, you can start working, you can watch TV, watch movies. This is all possible in the future. Maybe one day this vehicle could be actually a robotaxi. We only use cars like 2 or 3% of the time. The other 97, 98% of the time cars are sitting parked. So you can get back that cost of ownership by having the car out there robotaxiing or Ubering for you. Or maybe you don't want other people in your car. Well, it could drop you off right at the restaurant, right at the mall, and then it can go park itself. Or what if it needs service? It can drive itself to the Tesla service center. Right now, Teslas are actually driving themselves off the factory, the Tesla factory, and parking and driving 2 miles and parking themselves. They're doing that without anybody in the vehicles at the Giga Texas facility. So they're getting there, and in June, you know, this is May of 2025, but next month, Tesla's actually going to start unsupervised robotaxi trials in Texas, and they're also going to expand, I think, to California, and maybe eventually it will go throughout the United States and eventually worldwide. It looks like that's the direction it's going. Nothing's guaranteed, but we'll see. All right, there I go again, just rambling on about these cars, but There's so much to talk about. And here's some more depth to this vehicle. I don't recommend you messing with this or going in there. If you do go in there, don't touch anything you can mess up the vehicle. But this is service mode. This is the back end of the vehicle where we bring it to Tesla service to use to diagnose and fix issues. You know how some companies use like Snap-on, scanners and scanner tools and stuff like that to diagnose engine codes and stuff like that? This vehicle is a rolling supercomputer. This is all internalized. There's so much information that this vehicle has about itself. It's unbelievable. Tesla is a tech company. No other vehicle has this level of synergy. It's amazing. So, you can see it's got information about all the speakers. So if you have a blown speaker, it can diagnose audio issues. This talks about the connectivity, the Wi-Fi, or the cell phone modem. This shows you the software it's currently running and how much space we have in the internal hard drive. This is the high voltage system. This is your charging system as an onboard charger. This is the high voltage battery. This is the drive unit, the rear electric motor, basically the car's engine. Power distribution, interior lighting. This has this really cool ambient lighting. This is a refrigerant system. This has a very complex thermal management system to keep the battery at a happy temperature. We have an amazing HVAC system. It has Tesla's ingenious octo-valve heat pump, which makes this thing very efficient, especially in colder weather. Alignment and tires, steering, brakes. So much to talk about. Let's keep this walk around rolling along. Maybe a lot of you have left the video already. Beautiful color combination on white on black synthetic leather. For 2024, we saw a lot of updates in the vehicle. Now with these new perforated seats, you just don't have heated seats, but you have heated and ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, completely redesigned interior. Double pane glass all around. This Tesla glass has a sound deadening material sandwiched in between two pieces of glass, making it extremely quiet. My Tesla is a 2019, it doesn't have that, and there's a huge difference. This thing is so much quieter on the road than my 2019 Tesla. We don't have an engine here. We have a frunk, which is more storage space. Also a safety feature because you have a crumple zone that's 60% larger than the gas car. These are very safe cars, some of the safest cars on the road. Some people will just buy cars for safety ratings. I mean, that was the whole thing, for a long time of Volvo's advertising program. But on top of being one of the safest cars on the road, you have all this cool technology and features. I love this ambient lighting. You can change the colors. Also for the 2024 refresh or complete redesign, big update, whatever you want to call it, they added a rear screen. So we have heated rear seats. You can also listen to music back here. You can watch movies. You can play video games, operate the climate control system. And you have lots of interior space. I'm 6'2". I had that front seat adjusted for my height. I have plenty of leg room, plenty of headroom back here. This is a compact car. But since we don't have drive shafts, we don't have exhaust systems and gas tanks, it allows for a clean sheet design. So you have a lot more interior and cargo space in a comparable sized gas-powered vehicle. And with the amount of performance and technology this thing has, you wouldn't compare this to a Camry and Altima. You'd compare this to like a BMW, a Lexus, or an Audi. And right now in the pre-owned market, these things are excellent values. You have lots of storage space right here. I know it's kind of dark, hard to see. You even have more storage in here. There's a storage pocket on that side. Also on that side, we have a power operated trunk. And lastly, let's talk about maintenance. This is like owning an appliance. There is not a complex internal combustion engine with thousands of moving parts that needs regular dealer maintenance. Mainly it's just tires, wiper blades, cabin filter. That's pretty much it for your maintenance. And a lot of times Tesla Mobile Service can come to your work or your home to replace stuff. With regenerative braking, the brakes last a long time. It uses the electric motor to slow the vehicle down, which puts energy back in the battery. That also extends brake life because since you're using the electric motor to slow the vehicle down most of the time, the brakes are very rarely used, so that greatly extends the brake life. So yes, it is like an appliance. It's like a refrigerator, Maybe not quite that simple, but I mean, it's a lot more like an appliance than a complex internal combustion engine. Think about like a twin turbo V6, all those thousands of moving parts, oil, coolant systems. And I can tell you, I have a lot of experience in the car business. When vehicles get to 100,000 miles, a lot of times we can't get them through the shop. We just send them to the auction because it's starting to leak oil, leak coolant. All that stuff's expensive. And since Tesla's a vertically integrated company, they don't have a franchise dealer network. They don't have parts distributors and middlemen like a lot of other car manufacturers. The cost of repairs on Teslas are actually very affordable. Sometimes they're about half as much as what a comparable dealership would cost. Here's a good example. We had a Kia Niro EV where the infotainment screen went bad. And it doesn't have a fancy infotainment screen like this. It has like a little old school infotainment screen that looks like it could be from 15 years ago. Well, I thought Kias were supposed to be affordable, but the Kia dealership, at our cost, we're supposed to get a discount because, it's wholesale to wholesale. They wanted $4,000 for a new infotainment screen, and they said that they'd take them months to find the part. We had a screen crack in our Tesla. We had to replace it. Tesla had it replaced in a matter of weeks for $1,200. $1,200 is a lot of money, but this is like an iPad. This is like a laptop screen. This is $1,200. If this was anyone else, it'd probably be 3 or 4 times as much to replace a screen like that. So this just shows you that Teslas can be very affordable for repairs. So if you want a technologically advanced vehicle, something that will last a long time, something that's very safe, very little ownership costs, definitely check out the Tesla Model 3. Thanks for watching and have a great day.